Hello guys, nice to be back, and anyways guys, but yeah, I am, oh my god, I'm like lost for words, I can't speak right now, but I apologize for doing this a little bit late. The AFL season's set to start really soon, and yeah, before I make my tips video, um, I'm gonna be making my predictions for the 2021 AFL season. So I might edit this and on like the left or right corner. Well, most likely the left, since I'm gonna like be over on the right side. But yeah, I apologize because I just cannot speak right now. But it's early in the morning. But yeah, my birthday's coming up on Friday. I'm turning 17. So yeah, you guys, you can wish me a happy birthday. And yeah. So here are my 2021 AFL season predictions. For the team that I think is going to win the wooden spoon. Now this may sound really controversial, but coming in 18th is the Essendon Bombers. The reason why I got Essendon finishing as the wooden spooners is I just get like so much vibes from the Adelaide Crows last year. They just give me a lot of vibes. They lost a lot of key players, most notably Joe Danaher and Adam Sod, and I just do not feel confidence in the, and of course the retirement of Connor McKenna. But yeah, I just do not feel really confident in the Bombers this season. I just have lots. It just gives, like, them right now, they give me a lot of vibes of. They give me tons of vibes of. They give me, like, so much vibes. Reminding me of Adelaide last year, but yeah. But yeah, for the Bombers, I do think they'll get a few wins here and there, but unfortunately, I just got them finishing as the wooden spooners. They just remind me a lot of Adelaide last season. They're going to be they're probably going to be, they've lost a lot of key pieces, and I just think it's just going to benefit them. Plus, in recent years, there have been tons of teams in recent years that a lot of people predict to win the wooden spoon, and then another team that is on the collapse, ends up finishing as the wooden spoon. So that's the reason why I have Essendon finishing as the wooden spooners. Coming in at 17th is the Adelaide Crows, an incredibly young side. They'll win. They've showed some promise with under oh my god, I swear if I butcher this. But yeah, they've showed a lot of confidence under Matthews. Just, oh my god, I need the next time I need to like do my research for this, but yeah. They've looked pretty solid. They had some promise again. They did have some promising looks in 2020, including a massive upset win against Carlton. But yeah, they showed a lot of promise last year. They showed some promise last year with Matthew Nicks. And yeah, but they're still going to finish 17th. They're going to still struggle. They have a very young side. But you do have a couple players coming back. You do have, they also did lose one of the Crouch brothers. They lost Brad Crouch to St. Kilda. But yeah, I do think they could definitely, they could make some improvements over the next couple of years, but they're still a really young side, still in the process of being worked out. But yeah, they did get Rory Laird from, I believe, Hawthorn, if I'm not wrong, although I might be wrong. I am looking up Wikipedia right now, but oh no, never mind. I was getting confused with another player. Never mind. But yeah, Rory Sloan should have some more time. Oh wait, I think the player that I meant, I think, was not Daniel Talia. Oh my god. I suck at like not doing research. But yeah. Rory Sloan should be coming back, and Tex Walker, he's probably going to struggle once again. He was really bad last season. But hopefully But Adelaide, they still got plenty of youth, and they could definitely improve on with that in the upcoming season. Definitely flex out how the youth can do. But yeah. Coming in 16th is going to be the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Now, you may know that they're the obvious favorites to win the Wooden Spoon this season. They lost tons of key veteran players, of course, like Ben Brown. They lost. They did lose. They lost Higgins to Geelong. They had a really bad trade period, and they're going to be a really young team. They also did lose Majak Daw, who might be going to Melbourne, but yeah. But yeah, for North Melbourne, I do think they're going to struggle a bit this season. They might, but I think they'll do slightly better than what most people expect from them. But yeah, really young side, but I do think the Roos can show some promise in this season. But still, they're going to struggle They're still going to struggle a lot. But yeah, coming in 15th, I actually do not have a script, by the way, but yeah. Coming in 15th, I got Hawthorn finishing 15th. They might finish outside the bottom 4, but yeah, this is just like what I have them at right now. But Hawthorn, I think they'll finish 15th. They'll have some pretty good games here and there. I do think they'll win against Essendon in round 1. Yeah, spoilers. But I think they'll have a few good games here and there, but it's just injuries are already taking a toll on some of their talent. Like, I know James Sisley's out for the entire year, and another key player that's out for a good chunk of the early portion of this season is, of course, another important player that's out, of course, for a good chunk of the early portion of the season is obviously, of course, and of course, throughout this season, they're going to be without, pretty sure they're going to be without, oh my God. Yeah, they're going to be out with Jack Gunston Jack Gunston's going to be out for a while. It's just a lot of things have changed for the Hawthorn Footy Club, but yeah. But yeah, I think they'll have a few good games here and there, but still, they're light years away from possibly reaching another premiership. But hey, it happens. Lots of legendary teams will rebuild at one period of a time. But yeah. Coming in 14th, now this may sound controversial, but I do have Collingwood finishing 14th. Lots of big names have departed the club. It's going to be, and also the whole, just a lot of, just like all the stuff going on with the club, like the racism and stuff, and their president is officially gone. This is his last season, and of course the departures of Stevenson and Treloar. Like, they lost a lot of key pieces. It's going to be really tough for them against some teams, but they'll still get some wins here and there, but it's going to be a really bad season for the Pies, in my opinion. Coming in 13th, I have the Gold Coast Suns coming in at 13th. Now, they did show a lot of promise last season. Oh my God. But yeah, Gold Coast, Gold Coast, they showed a lot of promise last season. They're definitely a team on the up, but I do think they're going to get slightly better, but yeah, it's just my opinion. But Matt Rowell and, of course, Isaac Rankin, they've been really promising, but I just think they're not exactly a team, at the top right now, but they're definitely a future team in the making. Coming in at number 12, I have the GWS Giants. They experienced a lot of key pieces leaving, most notably, of course, the departure of Jeremy Cameron to Geelong. But yeah, the Giants, they definitely do. They still have a really solid back line, but like mid, I think. But they're going to slightly do worse this season. I do not see them making it back to the top 8, especially with the key losses. they're definitely like years away from reaching another grand final or a premiership or even a premiership. That 2019 season, they had a great shot and just blew that opportunity. But yeah. And for the Giants, I think they'll have some good wins here and there, but still, it's not going to be enough for them to get over into the top 8. Number 11. Now, I know what I said on Instagram of how I want this team to personally make the top 8. And of course, it is my team, the Sydney Swans. I have them finishing 12th this season. We do have definitely things will be much better. But the real question is Buddy Franklin going to be healthy? Are the youth going to... We'll definitely see some continued development of the youth. James Rowbottom, I think, will be a breakout star this season. But yeah, the real question is Buddy coming back? When is he coming back? At the moment, it might look like round 2 or 3 at the moment, but yeah. That's going to be a really big question mark. He is the highest paid player in the AFL. Honestly, personally, I really want to see him back on the field. I just really want to see him dominate one more time. That's what I really want to see. But yeah. Isaac Heaney and Josh Kennedy, they're going to be back this season. They'll definitely get some more time as they recover from their injuries last season. It's definitely going to be It's definitely going to be a big improvement of last year, but still, it will not be enough for them to make the 8. You just cannot trust Logan McDonald to get you into the top 8. We're still a really young club, but hopefully in a year or two, we'll definitely be back in the top 8. Coming in at number 10, I got the Fremantle Dockers. Definitely a really promising team. Nat Fife is still at the club, and I believe the Dockers, they made some solid pickups. They got a pretty promising young side, and I definitely respect that. They could definitely have a shot at making the 8, but I just think it will not be enough. But still a lot of promise with the Freo Dockers. I see them making finals possibly next year. Or hell, they could definitely have a shot at making it this year. But yeah, we'll have to see how everything turns out for them. Coming in at number 9, just barely missing finals, is the Carlton Blues. Showed a lot of promise last year, and the AFL media seems to be really hyped up about the Blues. They're like the team that is... oh my God, I can't speak. Yeah, they're the team that's mostly focused on by the media for their youth. But yeah, they did get Adam Sott and Zach Williams in the offseason. I do think the Blues, they'll have a really good season. They'll have some big wins here and there, but still, they're still like a really young side, and they'll definitely be a finals team by next year. But the real question is Paddy Cripps going to play like he did in 2019? But yeah, if he does, the Blues definitely have a shot at making finals. But at the moment, I just barely have them missing finals. But yeah. And now the top 8. Coming in at number 8 is the Melbourne Demons. Got a huge pickup in Ben Brown in the offseason, and they definitely still got a really good side. I feel like this could be the year where they finally make the 8 and actually focus on defeating, weaker competition. Although I still do have my Swans beating them in this season because it just seems like we always dominate against the D's, even if we suck. But yeah, I think the D's, I think they'll get a top 8 spot. They'll just barely sneak past the Blues. And I think we'll get a pretty solid race for number 8. But yeah, for the number 8 spot on the ladder. But yeah. Number 7, I got the West Coast Eagles. Now, it is a controversial pick, but a lot of the players seem to be getting up there in age. They are slightly getting, a lot of the talent on the team is getting up there in age. Of course, most notably, you got Nick Nat and Josh Kennedy. They're getting up there in age. It's unknown how many years they got left, but we'll have to see how the Eagles, transition from this. They could definitely be a top 4 side, or they'll just slightly collapse, but yeah. Coming in at number 6, I got the Western Bulldogs. A very stacked midline, especially with, Bots and Pelly. They still got Josh Dunkley, tons of big names on that midfield, but The real question is, can they really get into the top four and can they finally win a finals series? But yeah, it's possible, but I think the Dogs, they'll have a really solid season. I do see them, continuing their thing, and yeah, I think they'll have a solid season. Coming in at number 5, I have barely missing out of the top 8 is St. Kilda. The Saints showed a lot of promise last season, and they could definitely be a top 4 side this season if they continue that. But yeah, Max King still. Yeah, Max King out is going to be a slight loss, but not big of a loss. But also, what plays into question is the really tough schedule for them. But I do think they could defeat teams like Port or Richmond. Like they could seriously, get some big wins here and there. But still, it's not going to get them into the top 4 in my opinion. But yeah, I think they'll still get some big wins here and there. They'll be a really solid side coming into this season, and yeah, they're definitely a team on the up. Coming in at number 4, I have a team that's slipping back, is Port Adelaide. Now, they, of course, last year's minor premiers, they did show a lot of promise last season, especially with, players like Charlie Dixon, also Zach Butters, and you got, of course, Robbie Gray. Like, they got a really solid side over there at Port, and I think they'll definitely do some damage, but I do think it'll slightly be a downgrade of last season, just with how some other teams seem to be, but yeah. And next we got, at number 3, the defending premiers, the Richmond Tigers. What's crazy to think is that throughout the 3 premierships they've won the past 4 seasons, they were only minor premiers in 2018, where they ended up losing to Collingwood in the prelim. But yeah, the Tigers, I think they'll continue their dominance. Dustin Martin is still a crazy play, still a fantastic player. And yeah, Damien Hardwick, he is having some problems right now, but even with some minor declines, I think the Tigers could definitely do some damage this season. Then coming at number 2, the Geelong Cats. They made some huge moves in the offseason. Like, I'm talking about huge. Oh my God, that was so cringe. But yeah, they made some huge moves in the offseason. Of course, they got Jeremy Cameron, the huge highlight of the offseason. I think they'll be a really solid team, but with how they're a really old team in the competition, I do think they'll lose some games here and there, and I think it's going to cost them the minor premiership, but still a really dominant side. They could definitely do some damage. And yeah, they could definitely have a shot at winning the premiership too this season, but we'll have to see how that turns out, in my opinion. Then at number 1, the minor premiers, the Brisbane Lions. The Lions have I just think the Lions, this could be their season. They have been a dominant side over the past few seasons, and they've always lost in like the prelim and all that, but I think this season they could definitely break out, especially with the signing of Joe Danaher, and of course you got talented players like Charlie Cameron, and also a couple of other players in the mix too. And yeah, I seriously think they could do some damage. They've been a very great side in the past couple of seasons. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes out for them. And yeah, that's my opinion. My minor premiers are the Brisbane Lions. And now on to my predictions of who I think will win the awards. The Brownlow medalist, I think, will go to... Oh, yeah, and of course, I forgot to mention Lachie Neale, last year's Brownlow medalist. He's just been dominant. But yeah, here's my award predictions. The Brownlow medal will go to Marcus Bontempelli. The Coleman medal will go to possibly Tom Lynch of Richmond. I got the... What other? I will make my award predictions for finals later. But yeah, I do. And for the Rising Star Award, I definitely have it going to Matt Rowell if he does not get injured. And yeah. And now on to my finals predictions. Coming in, so we got the first finals for a couple of teams. We got the number 1 seed. I mean, I'm a little bit confused about the bracket formula, but it is my second season watching the AFL. It is, of course, my second season watching the AFL. Yeah, so we got first seeded Brisbane going against 4th seeded Port. I do have in that game I do have the Lions hanging on to win. It will be a pretty close game. It will be a really competitive game, but I do see Port winning that game. No, not Port, but I do have Brisbane winning that game, and I think they'll definitely do some damage in that game. And then for the the quarterfinals. And then the second quarterfinal will be between the Geelong Cats versus Richmond. It'll be a really entertaining match, but I think the Tigers but with how the Tigers in recent years have always lost in the quarterfinal, I do have Geelong winning the game and heading to the prelim alongside Brisbane. For the first elimination final, it is 5th-seeded St. Kilda versus 8th-seeded Melbourne. It will be a really well-contested game, but I do see the Saints hanging on to win that game. And then the 6th-seeded Western Bulldogs versus the West Coast Eagles in the second elimination final. I do have the Dogs winning that game, as I do see them finally getting past the hump, as the Eagles just continue with the with the woes in the elimination final like they did last year. And now for the first semifinal, which will be between 5th-seeded St. Kilda versus 4th-seeded Port. I do see Port winning that game. I think it'll be a really entertaining game too, but I just think the power are just too dominant for the Saints. And then for the second semifinal, it is Richmond. It will be between Richmond and the Western Bulldogs. I do see the Tigers winning that game. Obviously, I just think they'll be really dominant in that game, and they'll really show their colors throughout that game and complete and dominate. Although the Dogs will give it a good fight, I still see the Tigers probably winning by like at least 25 points or something. And then for the prelim, which in the prelim it will be the Brisbane Lions versus Richmond. It'll be a rematch. It'll be a really well contested game, but in my opinion, I think the Lions got it. I think they'll defeat. It'll be a really close match, but I do think the Tigers will finally. I think the Lions will finally get over the hump and defeat. Will finally get over the hump and defeat Richmond. And then for the second prelim final, it'll be between Port and Geelong. It'll be a really entertaining game, but I do see the Cats hanging on to win. It'll be a really close game, but I just think Geelong are the better side. And I got the Cats winning that game. And finally, my predictions for the 2021 AFL Grand Final. I got the Brisbane Lions defeating the Geelong Cats by at least 20 points. It'll be a really entertaining game throughout most of it, but I just think the Lions are just going to be... the stoppers of the Cats. And for my prediction of the Norm Smith Medal winner, I think it will be Lachie Neale. And anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my predictions for the AFL season this season. I apologize for being so late. And anyways, guys, see you guys soon and have a good night.